Hey, welcome to Talking Hawks. How are you, boys?
Gentlemen.
Yeah, how you feeling after that glorious game?
Pretty depleted still, mate. Doesn't get much
Well,
better.
at least the fight came in the second half, so it gives me a little bit of hope to leave with.
Yeah, it did. I can't fault their endeavour. The endeavour was there, but what was missing was the skill. We just don't have any. The skill, the talent, and the X factor from what we've become accustomed to over the last 15 years, it's gone. We don't have anyone with that X factor. We got some signs, though, coming through. Like, boy, Will Day. Man, I love any time he touches the ball. Scrimshaw.
Skill right there.
Hey?
There's endeavour. There's skill.
Yeah.
There's endeavour right there, Will Day.
It's skill, right? I said I don't fault their endeavour. The team has endeavour, don't get me wrong. But anytime we get the ball, like that time when O'Brien took the specky. And I'm like, oh, Will, there he is, O'Brien. Hello. And then he kicks it straight to the opposition. They collect it and they kick a goal.
I thought him blow you a kiss to the camera and say that's for you, Brad, after he took the specky, and then he's done that.
It was a pretty good kick, actually. He didn't lob it up in the air. He just didn't see Caleb Daniels sneak in. He was just too cheeky.
Yeah. Caleb Daniels, great player. He should get the 3 points for that game. We're going to talk about our list later, in the second half of the show. But and who we need to get in. But boys, we're bereft of talent. We're absolutely bereft of it.
First half. Well, look, the talent doesn't disappear overnight, though. Where's the talent that beat the Lions and the Tigers at the start of the year?
He left with an ACL injury earlier, about 3 weeks ago.
Team game, right? It's a team game.
It's the teething of having some youngsters in and perhaps not following a game plan is what I have to sort of chalk it up to mostly.
Yeah, boys, I'm watching each week. Our midfield is in disarray. We can't win. We can't win it in the middle. And if we do win it in the middle and we get it into our forward line, we don't have 6 players down there that we can kick to. We may have 1, maybe 2. Breust and Gunston, and that's it. There's no one down front. And every defence in the league is able to shut down our forward line comprehensively. Yep. So, and we're absolutely losing it in the middle. So we've got this Brownlow medalist in Tom Mitchell. We've got this legend in Jager O'Meara. And between them, we still can't seem to pull it together. It's just awfully disappointing. And I actually think Segler may be the reason for that. You put McAvoy back in there, it's a different story. We got first touch. Yeah, Shields has lost a step.
In there the other week, though, and he didn't seem to change the impact of the game when he did.
It was too little too late, mate.
Yeah. Who was the best midfielder for you guys today?
Jager, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's not easy to say who it was. I mean, Jager, it's his first game back since injury, right? So, and he looked rusty. So, and he didn't get his hands on the ball that much. Tom Mitchell just really dropped off. Yeah, but look, Liam Shields, you watch him by halftime, he's sucking in the big ones. And he's gasping for breath.
Pounded today. The Dogs were getting stuck into him because he was playing a hard tag on Bond. And he was, I think it was the second quarter, I mean, he gave away a free kick. He was absolutely just out of frustration, that free kick. And so I don't think he was getting enough support around him. And he's probably copping a bit more because maybe you've got a young Finn and maybe a few other young guys running around, perhaps not being able to do as good a job. I hoped with Warple not in that the Mitchell-O'Meara combo would click again. But it didn't. It's seemingly when Mitchell and Warple are in, it doesn't quite work. But I don't know. That chemistry thing, O'Meara was the standout for mine as a midfielder today. And he had a bigger impact, I think, than
what did you see, Matt? What did you see from O'Meara?
He He's just got more poise. What he does with the ball when he does get it, he makes space for himself, which perhaps the others aren't able to. Just his strength, and he can take on a player or two, and he'll put on pressure acts. And because of his strength, I think the opposition players probably feel their dacks a bit, and he just creates a little bit more, or he did today, than perhaps what I from the other midfielders.
I love O'Meara. He's a bull, and anytime he gets the ball, you know that he's going to do something with it, and 90% of the time he'll break a tackle. He doesn't often get held. So, but we're just lacking the depth it's the next play after that and the next play after that where it falls over. It's almost like a third of our team or half of our team don't have the quality to make that next link up, and it gets turned over every single time. Yeah. And we're having to work.
Pure clearance players. Cousins was pretty good. There's a few times he got the tap clear, ran off with the ball, or delivered a clean possession to somebody. So as far as the kids go, he was a pretty, bit of a shining light for us.
Yeah, I like Cousins. He did very well. I agree. So, boys, what did you think of Finn Maginness?
I think he needs a bit more time down in the Magoos.
We're all pretty excited about it, weren't we? Seeing him come in, it's like, where's Finn Maginness? And it's like, that's why Clarko left him in the seconds for a while. Yeah, it's like, okay.
Was it that the ball? I don't know that the ball moved that fast. He was slow to react. I don't know what it was. It was just sometimes he was in there and he was having a crack. He's like, I guess that in an under roll at that next level up and pace is there. I don't know if it was response time, but for mine, that was just sort of what it seemed to be. One of the biggest things, just having to adjust to maybe the dynamics of playing with some of those other players. But I mean, he trains with them all the time. So you think he'd be used to playing in combination. They would have got him ready over the last 3 or 4 weeks and, receiving ruck work.
Matt, the one thing that new recruits always say on their first game is the pace of the game is a next level that they're not used to. And that was clearly what happened to him, right? Will Day, when his first game, it's like he just looked like a natural. He belonged there. But Finn Maginness, clearly, he's got to work his way into this. And he looked like a deer in the headlights tonight. And I don't begrudge him for that. So, hopefully he can play next week as well. Settle himself in, and he'll be ready to go. But after today, as excited as I was when he got near the ball or had the ball, it's like, he's deer in the headlights. He needs to learn the pace. I can see where they held him back, and that's fair enough. So
I think it was just his positioning around the ball, just his positioning where he's located in relation to his teammates and the ball, and I think he found himself in the wrong spots and didn't know where to be. I think that was his main problem today. He
wasn't bad. He was a first gamer, and that was it. So I probably had high expectations on him because of how Will Day hit the ground running so well when he got in there, and also CJ, the way he hit the ground running when he first got in there. It's like, whoa, this is exciting. I'm excited about the future. But I just didn't see that from Finn, and that's okay. I just had my hopes up, and I probably shouldn't have. That's all right.
But when was the last time we saw a rookie or a debutant who's an in and under player come in and make a huge impact in their first game? Like, they don't just roll off the tongue.
Warple.
First game?
Yeah.
I think he was pretty good.
Yeah, it was great, mate.
It's a harder role to come in and make an impact, I think, as well, in his defence. So give us a heart if you want to see Finn have another game next week. But welcome to all the fans. We've had a lot of questions already coming through, Brad.
Yeah, lots there. So Matt Burns seems to agree with me. We've got no A-grade players at the moment. So, we absolutely agree with you there, mate. Let's see. Craig Williams says, just get through next week with no major injuries and reload for 2021, plus nail the draft picks. Tim Patton saying, glad to see the fight back and kids get game time. Concerns around Lewis, Howe, and a few others who I wouldn't have thought would be our future. They just didn't look like they were up to it. What do you think? I'm liking Howe. I like what he does, and he's a good journeyman for us. And to me, he's the next Liam Shields. So
you put Howe in a team who's in the top 4, and he'll fit in, no worries. You put him in the bottom 4, and it's too much weight on his shoulders.
It is. And Lewis, Lewis is sad. He's had a hideous year, and I don't know if it's redeemable. So I guess we're going to have to persevere with him. But to me, he just has not had a great year. And I was watching it with my son, and he's like, I don't get it. I'd rather Lewis over Patton. And right there in front of goal, there was a one-on-one situation. I think it was Gunston set it up for him right in front, and he couldn't win the one-on-one contest. And it was just timely. And it's like, this has been his season. He's having challenges winning one-on-one contests. And his use of the ball is questionable, and he's lacking confidence. He seems like one of those confidence players, and he just can't seem to string his season together at the moment. I don't know if he can come back from it.
At his age, I think there's a little bit of forward craft for him to still learn. And could you go back just to Tim's question? I think, thanks. Look, second half, love the fight back. And look, I agree. Howe, Lewis, fine for this year. Give him a go. I don't know that it's queuing the rack for Lewis. If he's, with list sizes reducing, he's got some currency. Maybe another environment's going to be good for him. But maybe he's just a season or two away from clicking. And if Patton goes down with a knee and you put everything in him, we'd be kicking ourselves, I think. So,
and this is the situation we're in, mate, is that we're having to rely on Tim O'Brien at the moment to be our key forward. Tim O'Brien. And I love Tim O'Brien, and I can see why Clarko loves him, but he frustrates the bejesus out of me. I mean, when he took that specky, right? Yep. He took the specky, and then very next thing he does is kick it straight to Daniels, who goes on and kicks a goal. And it's just like, this is champagne Tim O'Brien for 2020 right here. It was frustrating. So anyway, but this is the depth that we have in the team right now, is we have to rely on Tim O'Brien as a key forward. We're in trouble.
Well, Tim's had 7-8 years now. I think Tim's had 7 or 8 years.
2013.
Give Lewis the same amount of time. I'd like to see Lewis, 5 or 10 more kilos in the gym over summer and come back as a beast and not get pushed around so easily.
Yeah, so Mel Zimmel, thanks, Mel. Big follower of the show. We love your work. And she's saying Lewis has been injured for a lot of this year. Let's give him time.
Yep.
So it's probably good sound advice there, Mel.
And as far as older players as well, look, maybe back to Tim's question as well. Late withdrawal with Frawley, I don't know, was that legit? I think that might have been Poppy's farewell game. So maybe that was in front of a home crowd. I think it was from
he's from Adelaide. Yep. He's from Adelaide, so it made sense to let him play that last game there. Mind you, where's our last game being played? Is it in Adelaide again?
We're playing the Suns, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fans.
Come on, boys. You should know this stuff.
I'll look it up.
The fans are the backup. This is the fans show for the fans. It's all good.
Yeah, it's at Adelaide Oval. So we're in Adelaide next week as well.
Yep.
So, all right. First half was woeful. Thanks, Alan. Yep. Yes, it was. It's terrible.
There was a good 5 or 10 minutes where we were really competitive and it was just an arm wrestle. And then we just made a few little errors and they just punished us.
Yeah, but they've got that star quality. And, when you got a bloke like Bontempelli, the one thing that frustrated me tonight with Bontempelli is the favoritism he gets from the umpires.
Yeah.
It's hideous. He's like Gary Ablett 2.0. If he goes near the ball and you touch him, free kick. The Bont got tackled. We can't have that now. God forbid. Oh, it's like the Bulldogs Jesus got tackled. Oh no, we can't have that now. How did I think he got hip and shouldered and it was like, that's in the back. It was like I felt for Shields, man. He was getting punished with a few free kicks. One was a fair hip and shoulder. It's like, no, that's in the back. And then he tackled a bloke and he landed on top of him, but he wasn't hot. He didn't land in his back. oh, no, that's in the back as well. It's just like, oh, mate, Shields must have been spewing. Must have been absolutely spewing tonight at some of the calls he was getting.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
filthy.
I don't think it was very well adjudicated, but I think the second half, just liked, 1 point in the second quarter. It was good. They just went hard. The hardness of the Dogs in the first half, they were just having their way and just bullocking through, and we couldn't stick anything. So I can't put that down to the umps. But the third quarter in particular was great. Hand-to-hand combat.
All right, so Tim Bowering is saying that Cousins was the best mid.
I wouldn't argue with it.
He did well. I liked it. I liked what he did. He was classy. So I think he's got a good future with his Cousins. And now Craig Williams is saying that O'Meara shouldn't have played. Couldn't even close his hand properly. That's interesting,
isn't it? You got to carry injuries from time to time. Yeah. You can't play with the busted foot, but you can play with a busted hand.
Yeah. Now, Dan Riff, one of our talented admins, he's saying, yep, I'm over TOB. I think I've converted Dan. I'm sorry. I've poisoned his mind. It's look, I'll say this about Tim, and I've said it before. I love his endeavour and how hard he works, and I get why Clarko loves him, but he doesn't have the skill or the talent. I'm sorry. It's unless something changes there, then I can't see him being a 150 game player for us.
Louise Rowe.
The problem is the next person in line's worse than him. So where do you go?
Yep. Louise Rowe's got the answer around Lewis. If you can bring that one up, Brad.
Well, I've got to find Louise.
Injury. So been a bit of as Mel pointed out, Lewis has been battling some injuries. But
I can't find Louise's comment, mate. Can you read it out?
Louise, maybe she's a doctor, but she said Lewis has got some sort of injury, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, I think. So anyway, good call. So what we wanted youth. We're seeing it. We threw to the fans, though. They wanted to hear more about the trade side of things and who we should target. So
yep.
Look, if you're online now, chime in with who you want or you think we should target. There's a few coming out of contract, so we've had a bit of a look. But, start that coming through. And, sorry, Brad, we continue talking about the game, but there we go.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, Adrian's saying he's Adrian Byers, again, another loyal follower. Thanks, Adrian. He's saying I have doubts that we've been 100% fair income trying to win games the last 4 weeks. Wouldn't read too much into our form list at the moment. I would be shocked if Clarko were throwing games. I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked if you were doing that. So I don't think that's the case. But
we've got down to a free pick. Do you reckon there's someone in the draft that they really, really want, and they had to drop a few games there?
Adrian's got a very good eye for the game and a knowledge of the players. It almost to me seems like the Hawks are playing for a half. If I had to sort of put a case behind Adrian there, I'd say they turn up for 2 quarters and then maybe they're just trying other things for the other 2 quarters. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't see us ever doing that, just playing for picks. I just can't see it. I mean, it absolutely decimated Melbourne when they did that. It destroyed the culture of their club.
But if you're doing game development and player development as part of it in the heat of the battle, sort of, I don't know. I'm not saying it's full tanking.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, Richie Blunden said, "G'day, lads. What do you think of these performances made due to our membership base and crowd sizes in 2021? Can you understand if folks don't want to put their hands in their pockets to watch this? There's no player draw card and averaging 7 goals a game isn't exactly exciting. By the way, I'll back up for year 21. What do you think, boys?"
Yeah, I did see another post similar on a page. People are getting frustrated, especially some of the people paying for their reserve seats and whatnot, getting access, paying big dollars. But it's about supporting the club, and I think we all need to do it. Otherwise, there won't be a Hawks to watch.
Yeah, so, I don't think it'll affect our numbers.
We've been through the hard times, Where are we? Over here, Been there. Had the good times over here. And, We've just got to stick it through and support the club. And
I don't think our membership numbers will drop. I think our crowd attendances will drop dramatically. It's if we're not going to win, Hawks supporters don't turn up. We're spoiled like that.
Yeah, but we still
we're a bit
pay.
fickle.
We still are paying members.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying our membership won't drop, but our viewership and our attendance will drop. Yeah. So
and then that probably makes us get Sunday games, the less popular time slots, because we're not at the top of the ladder playing the blockbusters.
We used to do that anyway when we were winning either way, mate. So AFL doesn't like us, remember?
Yeah.
So Chris Moss has chimed in. Untouchable protected Bont. O'Meara is still trying to use his don't argue too much, and everyone has worked him out.
Well, he's got a pretty good don't argue, but if he's got a hand injury, maybe he can't argue as well.
No, I don't think they've worked him out. He's just too strong for them. I think it works for him 90% of the time. He doesn't get caught too much. So I'm not too worried about that one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's we've thrown it to the fans, see who you'd like to think should get next season in the trade period. And Matt, you've put a lot of thought into this, haven't you, mate?
Yeah, I got a few things together. So I'll take us through a couple of people that are coming up to their out of contracts. Give me a second. We should be rolling. So, Majak Door, if we're good to go, yeah. So Majak's got a bit to offer. Probably his body is the thing that lets us down a bit, but I just included Majak because as a forward with the potential to give us a bit of a ruck chop out with a reduced list size, that might be something to consider. Averaging nearly a goal a game for his career. Levi Casbolt, he's slightly better on the goals, probably a little bit unders for mine. I like that he can take a grab. But going forward, what's that?
The comments. No Majak was the comment.
Keep it coming. Joey Danaher. Interested to see what the fans think here. It's hard sometimes when it's a team you've had a long bitter rivalry with. But look, he's on the move, no doubt. Probably doesn't deliver enough goals for mine, and I think it's osteitis pubis that he's had. So for mine, I think that's a risk, and he can pinch it in the ruck as well, which I like. At the right price, you might consider it. We've got a good medical team.
Not a lot of love coming off of Majak Door, mate.
I can't keep up with the comments while I'm going through this, but if they're entertaining, good. Jeremy Finlayson, I think definitely worth exploring that one. And 1.4 goals a game, he can give you a lot. He's a smart footballer, and probably at that right age, you can see 52 games and a big fella. So I think that's worth having a really hard look at. But also, old mate Jeremy Cameron. There's a lot of GWS friends now at the Hawks Footy Club. So Jeremy for mine is probably the pick of the big four that are coming out of contract.
Can I cut you off there? And can we get a double? Can we get a Jeremy Cameron, Stephen Caniglio?
Get them both over.
Yeah, get them both.
Well, we can swap captains.
Two for the price of one.
And we'll see how we go. We might bundle up a big for them as well. So.
Mate, Scotty Williams, he's loving the PowerPoint presentation, Matty. Have you got a pie chart to throw in?
Oh, give me more time, mate. Thank you. Josh Kennedy, I don't think you'd pry him out of the Eagles, out of the West, but, mate, for kicking 2 goals a game, a big fella that's caused a bit of grief to many teams, I think he'd be worth a look, but probably too many games, 258. And then Tom Hawkins. It's a hard one to swallow, but geez, he's averaging.
Wash your mouth out. Wash your mouth out.
Look at the bottom in blue. That's the elite stats. I should have highlighted that at the start. So blue is elite. This is all off AFL.com. So .au. So they're the big forwards for mine. If I just sort of park it there for a moment, what do the fans think? What do you guys think of the big forward options?
Tom Hawkins is cracking. Yeah, I just think most of those big names, most of them are one club players, and you're going to struggle to get them away from their clubs.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
look, Jeremy Cameron would be
Finn
the only one I'd say yes to there. He's the only one that I would want to get out of all of them.
Not Finlayson?
Oh, yeah, okay, and Finlayson. Sorry, Finlayson's young, right? So he's the one, either Finlayson or Jeremy Cameron. Those are the two, but the rest, they're too old.
Ben Brown, you didn't have Ben Brown on that list, did you?
Sorry,
I wouldn't have Ben Brown.
We rattled off a few, so I missed that one. Worth a look. I think he's too one-dimensional for mine, Ben Brown. Jeremy Cameron gives you a bit more flexibility. He's a little bit more athletic, but he's getting older. Jeremy Cameron's probably up there, but Finlayson for mine if we could.
And someone else, Tom McDonald, Melbourne, was a not too bad prospect who was a little bit out of form, but can take a grab and kick a goal.
Yep.
Marina Breust says, totally wash your mouth out.
He's been told.
All right, I'll move on.
Richie Blunden, don't ever say Tom Hawkins again.
We have to explore all things. We're a ruthless club. We're a family club, but, it's...
Matt Bell's questioning your medication strategy.
Geez, I've actually haven't had a drink for a week. Maybe it's getting to me.
All right, Chris Moss is burning his phone. All right.
I'm sorry, people. All right, here we go. Darcy Moore as a defender. I think he would be very good with Sicily down for a year, but you've got I've gone blank. Who's the young fella from Gold Coast? Scrimshaw, doing very well for us. So you'd probably hinder his development, and I don't know what Darcy Moore would be worth.
Well, he's Collingwood royalty, right? I mean, his dad is an ex-premiership player.
Yeah.
And they've got this, what do you call it, romance associated with Darcy.
Yeah,
so
if you somehow got him, Eddie McGuire would be hanging off his leg as you got him across.
Yeah, there's no way we'd get him. I'd love him. I think he's a great player. I like him as a person. I think he's a great person too. So
another defender, Zach Williams for mine. He's very handy. I would love to. I didn't add a whole lot of defenders. I don't think we need too much, to be honest. And you want to keep. We've got versatility. We've got guys that can move forward, play on the wing, and play on the back line. But we're pretty deep. If you could pick up Zach Williams, and you could probably offload a little bit of talent to secure him.
Scott Williams is wondering. He's saying, "I thought you'd throw Tex Walker in. He's gettable."
He's a little bit too old on that front, isn't he? I know you threw up some old dinosaurs there, but Tex is at the end.
Yeah. All right, looking at some of the midfielders, Josh Battle, handy for goal kicking. So I haven't watched a lot of Josh, but stats there probably indicates to me he does a little bit more up forward. Chris, do you have a little bit of a knowledge of that?
He's a little bit of a swing man. He can play forward and back, and he's really good, strong mark. I reckon he'd be a great forward, permanent forward. Yep.
Brad Crouch, probably, yeah. I haven't heard any links with the Hawks, but probably pretty handy. I don't know. We've crowded it with some talent and blokes that can get the ball. It's not working. I don't know if you let go of one of them and try and bring in someone new into the culture. I think you stick with what you got. But this is one fellow I would love. I love the heart of Jack Viney. I think, again, it'd be hard to pry him out of demon hands, but I think he's very loyal.
It's just not the age either, Matt. I mean, the guy's 26. He'll be 27 next year. So I just don't think it's a good fit for us age-wise. I think we just need to go young and rebuild like we did back in 2004.
Yeah, and that's probably a really good thing for us to explore.
But our midfield is getting smashed. Our midfield, we can't even clear a ball. At least you know he's going to get the ball.
Yeah, I love him. I wish we had a bull like him on our team. So, but if you could guarantee he'd play the next 6 years, he'd be great. But I just can't see it. So,
but here's my problem. I think we do have two bulls that can go and get it, just like him, called Warple and Mitchell. But anyway,
yeah. What about 2 meter Peter? Matt Bell wants to know.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a good option for us to consider. If we're going to look forward, I think as far as a ruck forward option, I think that would be smart, because if the list size. I think we've heard it might be dropping sort of 4 to 5 odd players. You've got a few blokes on the fringe here that are probably going to sadly be moved on or forced to retire. But don't mind 2 metre Peter.
No, I'd love him. He'd be great. The guy can take a mark and he can kick a goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I've seen in the comments Brody Myercheck as well, who I did mention earlier pre-show. I think, there you go.
Myercheck, thank you, Toby.
A pretty handy player to throw into that forward line too.
Yeah.
What about Adam Sard?
He's just too small. We need some big, tall timber, don't we?
I think we're okay with the ball.
And uses the ball quite well, I think. He's quite creative, but do we need it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, mate. We need key position players. If anything, we need a forward. I just don't have the feeling. I just don't think that it's going to be in Patton. I'm just not seeing Patton being a reliable forward for us in the long term. I can't see his body holding together unless he drops like 8 kilos. I just can't see it happening. He's just going to continually get injured.
You need 2 or 3 solid options. So you chuck Patton in as one of those options. You just need a bit more support around him, I think.
Yeah. Did you have any more, Matt, or was that? Did you go through all of them?
As far as whipping up the stats and whatnot, no. But let's keep talking because the fans are coming up with heaps now.
Yeah. So Glenn Nelson saying Gunston Breust package together 2 first-round pick and a swap of later pick. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, that's got to be.
I want to leave. Go on, Chris.
That's got to be their value minimum. First round pick for each, if not more. So
they're too old, mate.
Well,
you're not going to get a first round pick.
It's Hodgie, Lewis. It's all these media speculating and saying they deserve an option to chase success if they want to. And if who knows what the end of season exit talks might be with the coaching staff and whatnot. But if another club's interested, Hawthorn's going to listen, aren't they? They're going to say, "Oh, what are you going to offer us?"
Absolutely, but I don't think they're worth first round draft pick each.
I think Gunston's very close to it. I don't think Breust is, and I think Gunston's probably a little bit more important to us. But for a small forward, Breust straightens up our forward line like no small forward does in the league.
Absolutely, Breust would be the second best small forward in the league after Eddie Betts.
If there's a club on the edge of winning a premiership and that's the missing link, they might be prepared to pay that to get him in.
True. But yeah, look, what's he, 30 now? So I can't, you're not going to give a first round draft pick for a 30-year-old. I just can't see it happening. They'd have to be absolutely desperate, but that'd be unheard of. He's a second round draft pick. So in my point, from where I sit,
I wouldn't like to. Oh, sorry, go on.
I'd see that happening. That's it.
I wouldn't like to lose them both. One I could handle.
I second that.
When they're premiership players that you've loved and you've really enjoyed. But got Ash Hutchinson asking how old Finlayson is. He is 26. 24, sorry.
Yeah. The other one.
Ash is saying that Brisbane could look at Gunston.
All right.
I can see that happening. See, I could see us trading Gunston for a young bloke who can't get a game on their list, on a list at another club. So just like we picked up Gunston from Adelaide, I could see us trading a Gunston or a Breust for a young bloke like Scrimshaw. Trade them for someone like that who can't get a game.
I just can't identify any players in that age bracket that are, that you can see are going to be guns, and I just can't see them in the league at the moment. Maybe Billy Gowers, bit of bromance with Hawthorn. Be nice to get him back. From what I've seen of him at the Bulldogs, he was pretty impressive, but he's not going to be, a game changer for us, I think.
Josh Grioli's disagreeing with me, mate. He thinks that Gunston is a first round pick. So, but again, he's 30. I just cannot see it happening. Can't see a 30-year-old being traded for a first round draft pick. Can you? I've never heard of that.
How old was Gary Ablett when he went up to Gold Coast?
Well, he's in his 20s. But, you know, when Geelong got him back, I don't think they gave away a first-round pick for him.
No, not when he went back.
So, yeah, it's the same thing. I just can't see it happening. Anyway. Look, and I'd hate to see both of them go. One of them maybe, but you can't – they're the only two there that are actually worth keeping in our forward line. And if we were to get rid of both of them, we'd have no quality. All our history in our forward line is gone. The experience is gone. We need to keep one.
You're going back to 2004 then, Brad. You're just going back to 2004. Start from scratch.
I think Gunston's more flexible for us than Breust is, so that's why he's more valuable for mine. And he's 29 next month, so I would keep him. And if Breusty has, I think near 30-year-old or 30-year-old, he'd be the one for mine. I'd probably shop her a little bit, but you get less for him.
Yeah. Okay. So Willard Tika. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Gunston is 28. He'll turn 29 this October or November. So, okay, there's a bit more currency in him than what I anticipated. I could see him playing the next 4 or 5 years as well. So I believe Jordan Lewis, his article this week, he mentioned those two in particular should have a chance to go and find success at other clubs. I agree. And if they've got any currency left, I do think we should look to trade one of them but keep another. But if they both want to go and they're willing to and they want to do that, definitely think we should go to the draft and get some young players.
Not sure
or trade.
What their status is, though. If they're unrestricted free agents, they can pretty much walk, can't they?
They can, but they love the club, mate. They're not just gonna leave. So unless they've had a falling out, right?
Well, that was a good exercise to do. It's hard to look at players like Gunston and Breust that are contracted, and other players that might be at other clubs that are contracted that you might be able to pry loose. You just don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But we did get some mail on Isaac Smith from one of the Talking Hawks community from a very reliable source that had the heads up on some of the Mitchell Lewis Hodge trades as well. So apparently he's been offered a 2-year deal by the Hawks, which was very well supported on our social media channels. Everyone loving Isaac, but the mail is Brisbane's got 3 years on the table.
Oh,
3
years. 3 years. It is. I wouldn't blame him if he did go up there and do that. Wouldn't blame him. I mean, the young list that they've got, he'd slot in beautifully.
And is he in the same boat? We can lose him for stuff all, potentially.
Well, as a
unrestricted free agent.
What about who can we poach from them?
Well, it's the Hodgie scenario. It's we ended up getting a draft pick which we nabbed Warple for. So I mean, Hawks are good at unearthing the talent lower in the draft. So look, his prerogative, I guess. But for mine, Isaac's probably our leading winger at the moment this season.
He's such a solid player.
It's probably the first time I've heard of Hawthorn giving a player more than a 1-year contract too at that 30-year-old age bracket. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. Look, honestly, boys, I think where we're at, we trade. Trade the older blokes, the legends, the heroes, get the young blokes in. If we trade them either for higher draft picks or for young talent that can't get games that can't break into the team at the moment, like Scrimshaw or like we did with Gunston when he was young, let's do what we did in 04 and just clear the decks, get these young blokes in. And it sucks for these older blokes that we have traded for to get into top up our team. But I think that's what we need to start doing and change tack.
What about getting rid of too much experience and knowledge? You're not worried about that?
Yeah, it's a concern. You've got to balance this. It's all good to fly the flag and say, let's go youth. But you do need the experienced heads around. And I think it was definitely a feel-good move, but I think a wise behind-the-scenes move by the club to get Burgoyne on for one more year, get him up to 400 games, hopefully. And I don't think he'll play every game. But I think that was celebrated around the league, really, Burgoyne being able to have a chance at 400 games. So
absolutely. And break out the wheelchair for Burgoyne, mate. I'd be rolling him out and it's still. So I'd give him a 3-year contract.
Post-COVID, that's your gig, isn't it? You've already, has the club signed you up, Brad, for the wheelchair pusher? You've been saying that all year. We've got that.
Absolutely. No, I think, yeah, look, I agree with you. Don't keep some experience there. That's why I say only trade one of Gunston and Breust. But I don't think we should get rid of all of them. Those two are the last of our forwards, and we need to keep one of them just to keep the experience there. So whoever's willing to stay. So, but boy, those two go. Who's going to kick our goals?
Yeah, pretty scary thought, isn't there? There's not much there.
We're going to turn into a Carlton.
No, I think you move Wingard down as a permanent forward at that point, and you play him deeper, off that flank. It's probably a bit deeper. More often have Wingard crumbing rather than trying to give us the run off the wing. Yeah,
look, I'd hate to see Smith go as well. I love Smith, Zaka. He's a favourite of mine. So, and I still think he's got another 3 years in him. So I don't blame Brisbane for offering him 3. So,
someone's also chimed in. I've missed it. Said the Dogs have got 2 years on the table with Isaac as well. So, there we go. Josh Grioli as well. So, I don't know about your mail there, Josh, but yeah, look. Hawthorn's infiltrated the whole league with the coaches and the contacts. So we've had premiership players with now that have had assistant coaches in the Hawks' heyday, now nearly running every club around the league. So, it's going to be a lot of good relationships and a lot of offers for Isaac.
2012 was the last time a non-Hawthorn coach won a premiership. So, anyway, hopefully we can keep that going. Yeah, go Brisbane. I'm going for Brisbane this definitely. Final. So,
yep.
Anyway, yeah,
his 5th premiership.
Yeah. Maybe. Anyway, well, boys, we've had a good run, and we've probably gone a bit over time. But next week we'll be back, and we're going to go a bit more into depth on the list next week. Is that right, fellas?
Yeah. Well, we'll probably need to discuss the thoughts on Stratton, Frawley, and a few others, just to
who we think are going to go. We'll probably find that out.
Yeah, we need to know the AFL list size and work out how many we've got to delist, I guess, and move on.
Yeah. All right.
We probably did a little bit of injustice to the fans and getting to everyone's thoughts after I sort of put up some of those stats. But I hope you enjoyed that. We sort of put it to the people to see what you wanted us to touch on. So give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed that. And we'd like to do a more in-depth look at the list and perhaps what we need to do. It'd be handy to know when we know the list size, probably to make those hard calls. But, so whether we get to it this week or not, we'll see. But one more game. Come on, against the Suns. Surely we finish the season on a high, lads.
No.
It would be nice.
So, right. I don't think so. Come on, the one game we were meant to win was against Adelaide, and we lost that. So.
I'd like to see Jackie get a win for the club in his first game.
Hopefully Jackie can get a game. That'd be outstanding. So, hey, and if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter and also on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button there, fellas, and ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, and we need to get that following up there as well. If you could give us a hand with it. So, thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week. And go Hawks!
Have a good one, people.
Catch you guys.